March has been drier than average across the northern plains, and the U.S. Drought Monitor continues to show soil conditions still in pretty good shape. After all, it is still March. Interestingly enough, there's been finally an increase in severe storm activity across the southern plains. March has been very, very dry down south, but so far most of the heavier rains have been in Texas, and Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, northwest Arkansas remains pretty dry, with some areas of some pretty nasty drought ongoing. This area is likely to remain fairly dry, although there will be some storm chances, probably not those juicy widespread rain chances. In the southwest and in California, hasn't rained much the last week or so, but the drought condition continues to be greatly improved, and of course all the runoff into those reservoirs means there will be plenty of water this summer for irrigation. Across the Corn Belt, northern plains, things are actually looking pretty good. Weather patterns setting up for this week. We still have a split flow in the jet stream, but the southern branch is kind of weakening just a little bit for the time being. Mild temperatures across the northern plains. Anything really cold is locked in. But with the split flow, other than the occasional surge of warm air ahead of storm systems, we're going to keep most of those 70s and 80s and the odd 90 down in the southern part of the U.S. Late this week, looks like more troughing coming in from the Pacific Northwest. Could be a surge of cooler weather just as we get into the first weekend of April. Here's what precipitation is looking like. With the jet stream split across the north. This weekend, stormy weather again coming out of Texas. That'll move rapidly across the south as severe storms. Another system coming out of the Pacific Northwest may spread some rain through some parts of the northern plains, but it doesn't look like very much anyway. That could turn back into at least some snow in the northeast, but it looks like a fairly wet system. And then late in the week, here comes that troughiness with mountain snows, lower elevation rains, and next weekend a low pressure system sitting there ready to move out into the plains. What will it do? Well, indications are it'll weaken a bit, maybe some passing showers, turning into a rain snowstorm for some parts of the northeast. But later in the second week, another system coming out that I think may finally bring some rain or possibly wet snow, probably rain into the northern plains. Temperatures that second week, other than the surge of warmth, as I mentioned, things will generally stay mild. I am expecting northern plains and upper Midwest Great Lakes areas to begin cooling down. So putting it all back together as we move into April, the trend, I think, will be toward cooler and wetter weather across the northern plains, especially in the second week when there's a pretty good chance of some cold rain, maybe some wet snow mixing in. And April temperatures won't necessarily be colder than in March, but they may be more colder than average that they were in March.